Welcome to the Idea Base. I don't know if the channel will ever get big or not. I don't really care. The reason I've made this channel is because I I like creating things. I enjoy it. You could say it's a hobby, a pastime, whatever you want to call it. And one of my biggest problems is that I create too much, meaning I don't have actual time to dedicate to actually creating anything in depth too much. Because at some point I get an idea that I like even more than the current one I'm working on, and then I go and work on that new idea, forgetting the old one. Not really forgetting it, but not really doing anything with it. Some ideas I sometimes come back to, but they never have the same flair that when you originally start. It's a big problem. So essentially it's why don't I just put some of my ideas in the public domain? Now, when I say put my ideas in the public domain, I mean specifically the ideas themselves, not the recordings of me talking about the concept. But the concepts themselves, the world, the setting, whatever you want to call it, that itself is in the public domain. I'm going to make a series, I'll open a playlist on YouTube, and everything in that playlist is basically concepts that I want to share with the world. It's in the public, it'll be in the public domain. Possibly the characters might be there, the worlds. They'll mostly be fantasy and sci-fi, so you could say the alien races or the fantasy races or whatever you want to call them, because I tend to create those. Now, there might be some alternative history, I doubt it. Not because I don't like the genre, but more because, I've already made an alternate history of anything that I've already found interesting over the years. Some scenarios I've even played out more than once, so tweaked certain things so that it plays differently. The same base premise, at least at the beginning. And so I don't think there'll be many, if at all, alternate history worlds here. There'll be a lot of sci-fi, there'll be a lot of fantasy. I don't know if there'll be any other genres. Essentially I'm sharing worlds rather than stories specifically, so I might do that too, depending on how that goes. Generally I just want to see someone using these ideas because it's a shame to let them basically just rot away in some corner in my mind. It was me being the only person to have access to them, but never actually do anything with them. Sometimes I recycle some of my ideas. You might notice certain recurring themes or things like that reappear. I refer to them generally as my amalgamations I create, which the longer I've been doing this, the more amalgamations appear because A, I've already thought of a lot of things, and B, sometimes I really like certain ideas or like utilizing them. I don't necessarily like the idea, but using it, or how that idea plays with other things in the world, the setting and whatnot. And so you may see certain things happen. As I've said, the ideas that I'm sharing worlds. If you're going to hear me breathing heavily, that's because while I'm recording, I'm walking. I decided why not combine things to be more efficient with time. I'll both share my ideas and do some sport, have a walk. This is right now the reason this channel exists. This is the concept. I don't know where it'll go. I'll probably share a few worlds. Whether I'll remain interested in sharing more or not, I don't know. I've been creating worlds for well over a decade by now. Oh my. Yeah. Since at least the age of 12 I've been outright creating entire worlds. Yeah. Oh, it's been a while. Yes. Yeah, sudden reminiscence, so anyway. Yeah. Because I'm recording, I'll be recording outside while I'm, doing these. You will probably occasionally hear some noise outside. Maybe in the future I'll record inside, who knows? Maybe, maybe not. Now I have actually recorded already the first world, which I'll be sharing. It's a sci-fi one, but I decided I need to explain a bit more in depth what this is, what is in the public domain too, what am I putting there, what is exactly the point, why am I doing this, you know. And this is this. So yeah, will I expand on worlds I put in the public domain? Maybe. I mean, this one I know I've already thought of certain things which I forgot to mention. So the one that I've already recorded, which will actually be the next video after this one, funnily enough. So maybe I'll make like adjustments to add a bit more into the setting, things that I've forgotten to mention or outright just forgotten. Or maybe just additions that I thought about later. It's a bit noisy. I guess that's what happens when you pass next to a bus. Anyway, where was I? Right, things that I might not have thought about that I wanted to add later, such adjustments. But generally it's just an addition to the grand setting. You could just use the original video as the basis, or take into account the other adjustments that are added later. I don't know who will use this, if it will ever be used, but I would love to see stories based on my ideas. It'll be interesting to see also how similar or different it might have been to stories I would have made using the same idea. I don't know if I'll actually get to even see a story based on one of my ideas. Kind of want to though. So we'll see how that goes. Now, I guess now that we've gone through the introduction about me, or no, not really about me, about the channel, I guess we could actually introduce me. Well, I've made a lot of stories, as I might have said before. Generally they come in the form of books. Sometimes they've come in the form of scripts for TV shows, films, and the likes. None are complete. Some have gone away with time, some are locked on devices that don't work anymore, that maybe the files can be extracted and saved, maybe not. Some are on paper. As I've stated, none are complete. A lot of the gaps are basically, that haven't been written down in the first place, are still just in my mind. A lot of pictures, drawings. I'm not necessarily the best artist. I don't claim to be the best artist either. But I do draw, at least sometimes. I think I have a certain vision. I can't always draw it correctly though, what I see in my mind, to what I actually can portray outwards with my drawing skills. Yeah. More noise, so yep, noise. Yeah, this is the disadvantage of doing it outside, is that especially if you're next to a road where buses will pass. So that's fun times. Yeah, where was I? Right. Not the worlds. Me. Right. Other stories I've done. I have written poems, not many. I don't really enjoy that. I guess that's one of the only forms of media I've actually fully completed, other than drawings. It's poems. And not really much of a poem fan. Quotes. I have written quotes without any context to anything, and then implemented them in some of my stories, but I guess technically I've also got quotes. Quotes that haven't necessarily even been said in the conversation. I'm thinking if there's anything else I'd like to add. And it's even getting only noisier now, so anyway, it's getting just noisier. I don't think there's anything I really want to add. At most, maybe things for worlds that already exist, but more to the world I've already created today that I might share outwards. Some minor additions, tweaks and whatnot. So generally, yeah, there'll be a series. You'll have a world number to know which world it is. World number 1 is the one that will already be shared. And then maybe you'll add like additions like 1.1 or something like that, where you can just see it afterwards, which is related to the same world. So each world will also have its name, so you won't have to remember them just by the name. And yeah, I think that's all. Adios.